Hello everyone, today we are going to be making this delicious, refreshing rhubarb champagne. You can see it's got a few bubbles there on the glass and it's this beautiful light pink colour. So join us to find out how. So looking at what you will need 2 kilos of rhubarb, 3 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, the juice and grated rind of 4 lemons, and 1.5 kilos of sugar. And you need something large to put the ferment into. I've got this because we happen to make wine and things, and you need 10 litres of water, so something that will hold that much. So 10 litres plus all of these ingredients as well. The first thing to do is to wash and chop up the rhubarb small, and you can pop it straight into your container as you're doing it. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch me chop up 2 kilos of rhubarb. I just wanted to show you how small I'm doing it. Okay, just these little bits, and if I've got a particularly fat piece, which do I have? Yeah, like that, I'll cut it in half. Okay, I'll just crack on with that. I just wanted to add one thing before I put the rhubarb into my fermenting bin. Make sure that it is absolutely squeaky clean before you do it, and what I do as an extra measure is I put some boiling water inside. My kettle has just boiled. Obviously you want to make sure that what you're using is food safe. I'm just going to swirl this round and tip it out. There we go. I just turn the bin round as I am emptying it. And now I can start adding in the rhubarb. That's my first lot. And I'm going to keep going until I'm finished. Right, I'm just on the last stick. Now you will notice if you grow your own rhubarb that rhubarb can be green or pink, and you can eat it either colour. But just the one thing I will say is, if you can be picky, then if you want a nice pink drink, champagne or whatever you're making to be pink, you want the pink rhubarb rather than the green rhubarb. Okay, sometimes you just can't be picky as to what you get, but if you have a choice, then go for the pink. There we go. Right, that's all the rhubarb in. Lovely. And now we're going to do the lemons. Some of these, I think 2 of them are unwaxed and 2 of them are waxed. Yeah, these feel waxed. I just bought them at different supermarkets, or Nick got them for me. Now to get the wax off, because we're using the rind, what we can do is run these under warm water, and that softens the wax and you can get it off. Now I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but if you look, is that going to focus? You might not be able to see the colour change here, but just at the end of my nails here, these 2 little bumps, in the real light, and there's another one there, you can just see it's white, and that's the wax as it's starting to come off. So these have been in warm water, was as hot as I can take it on my hands, and I'm scrubbing it with a vegetable brush. And you will notice a difference as you go along. This is the other wax one, which I've already done. It'll stop feeling like you're holding a candle, and you'll be able to see the pores a bit more. And if you can see the difference between those 2 there. These ones you can see the pores. It's not just so smooth over. As I say, it feels like you're holding a candle. And these ones, it feels like you're holding a lemon. Right, I'll just continue getting the wax off of this one. There's the lemon all de-waxed, And now I'm going to grate them, and I'm going to use a small grater here. Right, now that's all done. Doesn't look like much, but there we go. When I grate, I don't grate all the way down so you start taking off the white pith, as that can be quite bitter. Now to juice, I just roll the lemons to try and squeeze some of the juice out a little bit. If you have a microwave, you can microwave them for a very short time just to warm them up, and that gets the juices going. I think it was Jamie Oliver recommended that. But we don't have a microwave, and these have already been in warm water anyway. So this is just how I do it. I do it over my hand so I can take out the pips. Obviously, if you've got any cuts, be careful. You might want a different method. Right, I'm going to continue until I've got all the juice out of these. Look, these are quite juicy. There we go, I'm all done with that. As I was doing it, I realised actually what I could have done is just chop the lemons up as they were and put them in whole, but the recipe I'm following just asks for the juice and the rind. If I make elderflower drink of any kind, there's usually orange and lemons just chopped up into that. Now while this is all in this handy little pot I've got, I'm just going to add my white wine vinegar, and it's just 3 tablespoons of this. There we go, and then I'm just going to pop that onto the rhubarb. Hopefully without spilling it. There we go. And now all we need to add to that is 1.5 kilos of sugar. Right, I'm nothing if not an optimist, and clearly I've been very optimistic here. As you can see, this is nearly filled to the top, and in here is just 5 litres of water. So, fortunately, once upon a time, we used to make a lot of wine, and I have a bigger tub. So we will use this one. So I'm just going to tip this into there. This has already been cleaned and scalded. I'm not going to do it on camera because if I did that, it might be a disaster. I'll come back when that's done. There we are. You can see where the level is. So if you were looking for your container, you need about 13 litres of space. Loads of room in there, and oh, it smells absolutely delicious. Slight hint of rhubarb, lots of lemon. That should be really good. So I'm going to cover this now. And we're going to put it in a cool place and leave it for 48 hours. Right, so here we are 48 hours later. Well, actually it's 52 hours later. It's a bit later in the evening. And here we are. It smells fermenty. It's got a kind of yeasty smell to it, although there is no yeast in it, obviously. But so there we go, and what I'm going to do is just strain it out into the smaller fermenting bucket. And you might need to strain it a couple of times just to get all of the little bits out. So you need to get all of the lemon peel out of it as well. So I'm going to keep on going until this is all through, and I'll come back. Right, I've now got out all of the rhubarb, but I'm going to continue putting it through because, I don't know how well you can see. There we go, all the bits of lemon floating in it. So I'm going to put it through the sieve so that can catch as much as it can just for the first time through before we put it through a muslin cloth. Right, I've got a little bit left, but you can see my bucket is nearly full, and I've got my rhubarb here. This is still quite firm and it's only been in the water for a couple of days, so you could use it for cooking, you know, if you wanted to. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start putting this into the bottles so that when this gets down I can start putting some of this back into there. And these are the bottles I'm using. They are these flip top, or the Grolsch top, as I call them, Kilner jars. These are they're 550 millilitres. They're a pint, so pint jars, and I'm going to sterilise them. So I'm going to take this bit off, and you literally, it's just like a spring catch there. You just pull that out. So this bit I'm not going to put in the oven because I don't want this to get cracked. So I'm just going to do that with the rest of these, and I'm going to wash them in hot soapy water. Because these are cold, I'm going to put them into a cold oven and bring the temperature up until they're dry, and then that will be sterilised. Then I will let them cool down again, and then we will start putting our champagne into the bottles. Because we've still got a little bit of little bits of lemon inside, I'll just show you, which I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's still little bits in there. Maybe it's coming up. So what I'm going to do is strain it through a muslin cloth. I'm going to scald the muslin cloth with boiling water just to make sure that it's extra clean, and then put the muslin onto a funnel so the water can go through that, the champagne can go through that into these bottles. I'll show you once these are sterilised. There we go. I've given these a wash in the hottest soapy water that my hands could stand, and now they're ready to go in the oven. Put the temperature to just over 100 degrees. That's Celsius for you Americans. And the reason I've put it into a cold oven, not a hot oven, is to prevent the thermal shock. So if the bottles were hot, I could put them into a hot oven, but at the moment we want to keep everything cool, bring it up to temperature. And because the champagne is cold, we will want the bottles to cool down, again to avoid the thermal shock. So we have a little light on our oven which comes on, actually it goes off rather, when the oven has reached temperature. So I will leave it in for about 10 minutes and just see how it's going with the light. If the light is off, I shall leave it in for a few minutes just until they've dried, and bring them out. So the bottles are out and cooled down. It actually took longer for them to cool down than it did to heat up. Right, now I've got my muslin here. It is clean. It just looks a funny colour because I have used it in so many things which have dyed it, you know, elderberries and stuff like that. So I've given the cloth a scald with boiling water, and I've run it under the cold. Obviously I was handling it, and hopefully this should take out the last of the bits of lemon peel. Anything else? I shall just do one and have a close look. Right, so we are now we're like the 3rd of March 2022. I completely forgot I had this video going. And we've got a few of these bottles left, but we've been drinking them. They've been really nice. So when I look back at the last thing I videoed, I don't know where the rest of the footage went, but It was fine. There is a little bit of sediment in the bottom of the bottles. This is a big bottle. We've really enjoyed this. It is a really nice light drink. I haven't tested the alcohol content. It's not much, so I'm just going to, for the purpose of this video, have another glass. There was a little pop there. I don't know if you heard it. It was quite faint. See the bubbles there? And this one is for my lovely friend Lorraine, who always watches our videos, and she currently has a glut of rhubarb. So cheers Lorraine, here's to you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.